Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ajit Verghese. I'm Chief Commercial Officer at ShareChat. What I wanted to actually touch upon today is actually 3 points of my for this forum. One is this whole emergence of connected consumer, which is something that we all know about. The other part is the connected consumer journey, and the third part is the connected commerce. I think these are the 3 points that I wanted to touch today as we go. I think we are all now aware of the digital ubiquity that we are all in that space, right? I think we all are used to a certain time in life when physical world was the reality and there was always a digital alternative. I think increasingly it has become there is a digital world and physical is probably becoming an alternative, and I think both will coexist. While there is a lot of global dialogue about one will exist and one will suffer, I think in India we know that both physical and digital world will survive, and I think it's all about the roles that has changed and that evolving roles that we need to adapt. And if you look at those, that the background of this behavior is actually because one is a lot of behavioral change has been happening over the last 5 years or 7 years. If you look at all that, which is technology led, technology has made us behave in a certain particular way and interact with the digital world in a completely different way from 10 years back and 15 years back. But if you start looking at that with the background of COVID, what has COVID done over the last 1 year is this whole attitudinal change. I feel that which is probably happens over a period of 3 to 5 years has happened in a year, and that has led to a lot of a role change in the way we look at our life. We look at safety, we look at quality today, we started asking these questions: why not this way, why this way, right? I think, and that has led to a emergence of a completely new role for the physical world and the digital world, and that's one. Second is this whole consumer journey. Again, I think if you look at how we purchase brands or how we purchase consumer goods, I think one of the things that comes to my mind is we used to either see somebody buying it and therefore look at the feedback, or we go to physical stores, compare, negotiate, go after one store after the other, multi-brand stores, and start looking at therefore what even revisit those stores and say, then look at a purchase. But today, if you look at that whole consumer journey, I think 80% has become online, or even 90% or full has become online, right? The search, the how-to videos, the peer-to-peer recommendations, the ratings, the entire research about products and brands and utility has to a large extent has come online. Now, obviously, it differentiates. A lot of purchase can happen online, and a lot of purchase happens offline. But I think it's about depends on categories and depends on different brands, and whether you need touch and feel, whether you need a bit of fitment, whether you need that last mile convincing from a physical world, and that therefore has made the role change between digital world and the physical world into different roles. I mean, is physical stores more about fulfillment? Is it about how we look at upskilling our physical world online stores and the people who man the online stores? Is it about the design changes? Is it about supply chain changes? I think that role has completely changed in this new world. And the third bit that I wanted to actually speak about is actually the connected commerce. I think with the emergence of online purchase and on e-com world, that's something that we already know, right? And the physical and the e-com is surviving. I think what has emerged over the last few years is this whole concept of social commerce. I think we at ShareChat believe that's a increasingly developing field and still an untapped potential going forward. Now, whether you look at the way creator world is upcoming, whether you look at earlier we are used to celebrities influencing our purchase. Today there are creator world, micro influencers, macro influencers, this whole concept of click to buy, click to install, click to register. Click to purchase, click to register, click to install, and I think that has again completely changed the way we look at commerce as an angle. I think if I were to give two examples of this behavior, look at what Mama Earth has done. I think if you look at the entire the way they market the brands is all about influencer marketing, and therefore not the traditional way of brand advertising, not the traditional way of brand speak, but it's about It's about using the entire micro influencers to start influencing a purchase, and then giving an immediate way of fulfilling that purchase if you're interested through an e-com network. Now that's a brand which has completely changed the entire supply chain, to brand marketing, to everything, to make sure that it is completely gone online. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be only that way, but there is other brands, like if you look at Boat as a brand, if you look at the Boat consumer audio brand, or if you look at Sugar cosmetic brands, when they are dealing with established brands or cheaper alternatives, they beautifully captured a mid-segment market by initially starting off with digital advertising, influencer, heavy dependence on influencer marketing, e-com fulfillment. But as soon as they started growing and felt that consumers need a last mile feel and touch, and therefore that convincing, they started opening up stores which builds that scale for them. So I think this whole emergence of digital world and the physical world and the roles it starts changing. We at ShareChat completely believes and supports this new way of brand marketing. How do we create, how do we give you a better understanding of that consumer, how they interact with various formats, how can we move this whole, how can we bridge this gap between awareness to click to purchase, and the emergence of social commerce as we go. I think these are the 3 or 4 points that I wanted to make today. Thank you so much.